How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago here. We're at Nutella here. We're at Lake in Michigan here. We got a line. There's the Wrigley building there. We'll just head down to Millennium Park here. We got 60 degrees here. April the 14th, 2025. Not too bad. Much warmer than it was this morning there. So we'll head to Millennium Park there. We'll check out Lurie Gardens there. We'll probably get up to the river. And finally the weather's starting to break our way here. Chris, how you doing there? Two Chris's. Charles, how you doing there? Davenport, that's good. Julie Reed there. Naya, thanks everybody. Joy, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, 60 degrees feels pretty nice. Got sunshine. Not all we can ask for here, so we'll head up. I want to see some spring flowers here. Yeah, it looks like we got the light here, so let's run up here. We'll get across the street. And there we go, good. So yeah, we got 25 seconds. We'll make it, no problem. There's a long light here, so I don't want to have to wait the whole time here. There we go. Doreen, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we got Michigan Avenue. There's the Ford bus. There, we made it. Trophy wife, how you doing there? Grand Blanc, Michigan. Yeah. Joy Coy. 12th floor of the Congress. Oh, you went to it. The haunted floor. That's good. Yeah, that's very nice there. The haunted Congress Hotel. Yeah, we went by there on Friday. Hey, the baby's having a good time there. Ticket debt relief, act now. I'm reading the sign. But I hope everybody had a good weekend there. Watched the Masters. Royal McIlroy there. Finally won the Grand Slam there. It was not nail biter. And Coachella was nice. C2E2 was nice. We went there on Friday. I missed there was the Breakfast Club. I guess some of the actors that were in the Breakfast Club were there. Of course, I didn't get the memo. I guess I should have researched it. You know, maybe it was on my ticket or something that they were going to be there. I didn't realize it. And they might have been there on Saturday or Sunday. I was there on Friday. It might have been one of those symposiums, one of those doors I opened there. I could have got a picture with the Breakfast Club there. But yeah, the pics make the place look even creepier. Yeah, it's a creepy place there. We've gone inside the Congress Hotel. You go inside that gold ballroom there. Yeah, you feel like you're in The Shining. You know, imagine being at that hotel in the middle of the night there and doors are slamming and all kinds of things. Look at this. Yeah, here's the colonnade here. We got 60 degrees here. Let's check out the flowers. Hey, they're piping in the music here. Yeah, I get some daffodils. So here, this is Washington Street, lines with Millennium Park here. Hey, there we're seeing these trees are about ready to pop. And usually these trees in Millennium Park turn green a little, like a week earlier than the other trees, because they pick trees that are pretty hardy here. And they lose their leaves later in the fall as well. 12th floor alone. You heard a little kid ran past your room. No one was in the hall. Yeah, I bet you hear all kinds of creepy noises. It's like you're in the rubber room there. There's the bean. Well, at least you actually spent a night in the Congress Hotel. That's a pretty brave move there. Experience some paranormal activity. Oh, you showed Nick the AAA Motor Club. See, we're spreading the word here of these historic buildings here. How they redid that lobby, yeah, with the car. Isn't that nice? Yeah, Chris. So see, we've been going in there for years. Now we get to spread the knowledge to a new generation of live streamers. That's great. There's the Great Bean of Chicago. How you doing there? 60 degrees here. April the 14th. Hopefully the weather's starting to break our way. Feels much more like spring. And hey, here comes the ball. Watch out. Here it comes. There, I got it. That's good. Hey, got it. There it is. Yeah. Playing the soccer ball there. Yeah. So yeah, what we were talking about is the Congress Hotel, which is further south here on Michigan Avenue. It's infamously known as being haunted because of an incident that happened back in World War II around 1940, 39, 40, 41, around there. A poor woman left to her death with her kids because she was worried about being deported back to Nazi Germany. And that's what the Congress Hotel, the 12th floor, that's what we're talking about, which is really the 13th floor with the mezzanine. And there's a certain room there. A lot of paranormal activity. But here's the Great Bean of Chicago. People are taking pictures here. There, we'll go up and get a cameo here. See how you can go right up here. Get yourself in the bean. There I am. How you doing there? See, Brian Riley, Chicago. Enjoying a April day here. We're getting a bright September sunshine, which is nice. Let's give an overview of the bar here. Krista, how you doing there? Rob on the road there. Yeah, it's so sad. So sad what happened that made it haunted. Here's the Double Clutch Brewing Company there. So you go down there and yeah. So here, let's head past the flowers. Let's go to the Lurie. Let's check out the Lurie gardens here to see if we can see any spring flowers. We'll see if anything popped over the weekend here. But here we're at the Great Bean of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. Welcome. And we'll just tootle around on my lunch break here. So yeah, I know. Thanks to everybody that tuned in on Friday to the C2E2 there. It was a good time there, and I just wanted to kind of get an overview of what it was like to see. It wasn't just the cosplay people dressed up, it was so many resellers, vendors with the comics and the artwork and all the merchandise and collectibles and figurines and dice, and there were people playing board games, video games. There was you could meet and greet celebrities from various movies. There was the actors from the Breakfast Club movie. There was actors from Dune and other things. Here, let's head over to the Lurie Gardens here. We're in Millennium Park here. I'm just checking out the signs of spring here. There's some purple little petunias here. They're still working on the band shell here. Yeah, this is called Chicago. This is called Millennium Park. So you see there's this skyline along Michigan Avenue. There's the Bean in Millennium Park. That's the bridgeway that connects up to the Art Institute, what they call it, the Nichols Bridgeway here. Here's a map of where we're at here. Welcome to Millennium Park here. Yeah, the Nichols Bridgeway, there it is. And they got some beehives over here. But behind this hedge, there's on top of a parking garage, which is what we're on here, Millennium Park, there's a rooftop flower garden called the Lurie Gardens here. So we'll check it out, see if there's any spring colors here. Yeah. You go, Joy, you got a cover photos. Awesome pic of the bean there. That's good. So hey, Rob on the road there. We went to the Allerton Tip Top Tap. Closed in 1961. Yeah, it's such a shame that why do they got this closed off? See, I just wanted to walk through there and they got it closed off, of course. Maybe we can walk around the southern end. It looks like they're doing something down here. They're working on it. So it never fails here. I didn't realize that they had this closed. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have went this way. So, okay, well, we'll head into the loop. And there are beautiful flowers there. This area of the Lurie Garden is currently closed. So best laid plans come to naught. Looks like they're doing some sort of. I'll just keep in here, show you what. Look at that's what I want. Yeah, they're working on it. So they're working on the Lurie Gardens there. I want to show these beautiful flowers, but we'll have to do it some other time. Okay, so here let's head through the loop, and we'll head over to State Street. And then we'll end up by the Riverwalk, and then we'll head back to Riverwalk here. So we'll just cut across the loop. Our normal lunchtime walk here, nothing big. We'll check out a few construction projects here. Yeah, that's where you can take that bridgeway, takes you into the modern wing of the Art Institute. We'll head down the road here. Hey, Mary Therese, how you doing here? Yeah, we're back. But there were people getting tattoos at the C2E2. I was amazed to see that. And there was all kinds of symposiums, breakout groups. People would break out these little niches. And it was pretty packed. I only went there on Friday, went on all weekend. I don't know if it was worth, I paid $60 just for one day. I don't know if it was worth for that. I was talking to Drew about that. We met up with Drew later on at the Bean there. And he might have met us over there, but I didn't blame him for not paying $60 just to go into see all the vendors there. But here's the food trucks here by the Art Institute here. Here's the Crown Fountain there. Sister State there. Yeah, I'm amazed. And it was funny, the tattoo area was like right next to the kids area. Not that tattoos don't go with kids. I get that. It just cracks me up because there were people with their butt cheeks hanging out like right next to where the kids were. It was just funny that was what was going on, because some people were getting like leg tattoos and stuff, which is interesting. Here, we'll cross the street. So this is the University Club. There's the Monroe building. Look at the beautiful street wall. These beautiful buildings here. Wow, look at all there's the band there. There's the whole band crossing just like Abbey Road here, crossing Michigan Avenue. So I wonder if they're going to the Symphony Center there. There's the whole band. They got the drums, the xylophone, everything. Look at that, crossing Michigan Avenue. Yeah, they're heading down to the Symphony Center there. So here, we'll head right into the loop here. Oops.
That's the drawback,
Yeah, I just want to go by and catch this band, see if they're heading into the Symphony Center or where they're going here. It's nice to see a big, huge band here over by across from the Art Institute. And look, they got these, see, look, there's the Monroe building. It's a beautiful entrance here. And then they got the parasols here. Got the beautiful seating here. You can sit out here. Yeah, look at that. But here, we'll head around. So, Michigan Avenue.
I saw one.
Yeah, maybe you can look. Maybe you can look online to see when the Crimson Tower there on Michigan Avenue. We might go by there before I end this live. We'll do a full circle. We'll come back down Michigan Avenue. They got a bunch of horns behind me here, but yeah, I don't know off the top of my head that new Crimson Coward chicken there. I know where the mochi nut used to be, right there. Man, it's loud. That's why I'm deaf there, to turn the siren on when I'm right next to them there. There, they're working on the road here. We got some wind here. School of the Art Institute of Chicago here. We're at Wabash and Monroe here. Chicago. Look, their head. That's new. They added those arches. They call it Forum 55 Food Hall, so they're gonna rebrand this. They're working on the 55 South Wabash building here. It's a huge building. Here, let's get across this street here. Hey, look, working in the hole there. Here, we'll head past the Palmer Hilton here. Palmer House Hilton. MBT. You almost jumped off the road when you hear that horn. Yeah, we got the bike taxis are back here, so it shows the nice weather's back. Here, the Palmer House Hilton will head under the awning here, or the overhang. Yeah, the horns will surprise you there. There's the train. There's the pink line heading through there. Yeah, I hope you can rest up there, Julie, there. Greeny fresh. Get your smoothie. Sesquicentennial. I can't say it. What is that, 150 years? So here we'll head past, this is State Street. We missed the light here, so we'll head up a little bit here. Yeah, we'll go up a block here. Let's walk up State Street here a little bit. Hey Sharon, how you doing there? Hey, these tulips are about ready to pop here. Try to get the camera straight here. There we go. Here we go. So here's the first sign of tulips here popping on State Street. So here, I'm trying to film here. There we go. Hey, we're seeing tulips. These are the first tulips on State Street that I see are starting to bloom here. April the 14th, 2025. Here's some more over here. Yeah, we're starting to see some spring color here. Yeah. Chris is traveling all over. Yeah, Chris is working. There's a Sullivan Sitter here. Hey, here's some tulips. Look at that. Tulips on State Street looking nice here. Yeah, look at that. Here's the tulips here looking good. Reds and yellows. Just giving us a preview of what we got in store for us here. Yeah, some blooming flowers. Yeah, State Street. Yeah, so you see we're next to the former Carson Prairie Scott here. You got yellows and reds, tulips popping here. Yeah, they're starting to spring forth here. We'll head up here to the entrance to the... This is the Gothic Target, of course. It's the former Carson Prairie Scott there.
Go Blackhawks.
Hey, good, thank you, appreciate it. Go Blackhawks, that's great, appreciate it. So here's the... yeah, look at this beautiful cast iron, wrought iron facade here. We'll show it as we cross the street here. There's these classic vintage skyscrapers. And there's the L train heading across there. It's an orange line heading to the loop. Here's the Carson Prairie Scott here. You can see Louis Sullivan. You can see his initials in there. Here, let's head across the street here. We got the light. Yeah, State Street. Looks good in the sunshine. Look at these tulips popping here. Yeah, we'll head to the sunny side of the street. Walking through the loop here. Seeing a few tulips bloom here. Street across from the Sullivan Center, the former Carson Prairie Scott building here. There we go. We got some tulips here. Look at that. Very nice. Yeah. Here we'll cross the street. Man, the large windows, the Chicago style windows is exactly what it is there. You got many pics, that's good. Your daughter had to drag you out. Yeah, you gotta get out, and hopefully spring weather help you make it feel a little better. It's beautiful sunshine. It's nice here. 60 degrees here in the Loop of Chicago. Not too bad. Right past the Walgreens. Yeah, Michael and Mary Teresa. Look at all these locks. People always stick the locks on the side here. Retailer locks are prohibited. They put a sign up, but it doesn't stop anybody. People do that on bridges too. It adds like weight to the bridge. Oh, these are looking nice up here. Here we got a whole grouping of tulips here. This is the best ones I've seen here. So hey, welcome to State Street. Here we are, April the 14th, 2025, and we're seeing spring tulips here. These are the first ones really popping here. Yellows and reds here on State Street. So I hope by the, maybe the ones on Michigan Avenue, they're a little behind this. We'll keep an eye on the other tulips there. So we're right here at Madison and State Street here. So we'll cut to the left here. And we'll head over to Daily Plaza here. There's the media school, the Illinois Media School. You got the Washington Hall food court there. Look at that, the Eye of Ra there. There it is. Yeah, they're beautiful there. Michigan Avenue girl, that's good there. Yeah, Christopher, thanks for checking out the tulips there. I'm sure the spring trees and flowers are probably popping there on the East Coast too. Usually spring goes a little earlier in New York area than Chicago, just like a week or two. I remember going to Central Park in April. It's just beautiful. And those trees turn. You get the nice warm days here in the springtime. But the weather's been up and down. It looked nice in Augusta there for the Masters. It usually is this time of year. But here we'll cross Dearborn and Washington. I was wrong. This is Washington Street. We already crossed Madison. Madison was where the Carson Prairie Scout was. I'm a block off. Hey, they got the fountain on at Daily Plaza. That's good. So here, let's check out the signs of spring here. What time we got? 12:18 here. Yeah, I'll head over towards the Riverwalk and we'll see if anything's blooming down there. We'll cut across Daily Plaza. We'll go past Picasso. Here's Dearborn Street. Wait for the lights there. We got the light there. There, we'll head into Daily Plaza. Comes the bike. There's that Picasso City Hall, Cook County buildings. There's the First Methodist Church there. Hey, they got scaffolding. They're working on the windows there. Daily Center. There's that Picasso. Yeah, rare Pablo Picasso sculpture. Like the haunted stuff, yeah. Yeah, check out the Congress there. It's haunted there. She stayed on the 14th floor there. There's the fountain. Got the fountain on. That's good to see. Hopefully they're hoping we're not going to have another hard freeze here. You know, they've got some plantings over here. The Modernist Plaza. There's the First United Methodist there. They put the chapel at the top. There's a chapel at the bottom. We go in there sometimes. There's that Picasso. We'll come back here several times this spring and summer. They'll start programming this with lunchtime events. Last year they had a lot of 40 years of house music, dance events and DJs and things. Hopefully they'll have farmers markets. I think this Wednesday the farmers market will be going strong there on Lincoln Park there, where we go by Armitage there. Here's the Thompson Center. We'll cruise by the construction site of the Thompson Center here to show you progress. They're adding the curtain wall there. It's going to be the new Google used to be the State of Illinois building, but Google's renovating it now for offices. And we're thankful to them for doing that. Here's the City Hall here, and there's the Daily Center going to the metal detectors to go to the courthouse there. Look at that big atrium there, the giant curtain wall all removed there. They're starting to add some of the windows over there. We'll try to catch it here. And we got a few seconds to get across here. We'll get across here. This is Clark Street here. We'll head along the 1906. That's when the City Hall was built here. Shiver my timbers. There's the train going behind the Palace there, the Cadillac Palace Theater. Yeah, I saw Natalie posted she sent a video, showed the old time loop of Chicago, what it looked like in the 80s. And they showed Randolph here, and you can go back to the Blues Brothers, which was early 1980s, like 79, 80. And yeah, this whole area around the Cadillac Palace, this was like a bus station, even where, you know, at that time it was called the Oriental Theater, where the Nederlander and where that German cuckoo clock looking building, it was there, but it looked different because the building on the corner was different, and they had a lot of more neon and LED signs. It looked more like the old Times Square, and it shows you how different this area looked in the 1980s. And see, everything's changed. See, they're adding the glass curtain wall to the Thompson Center there. And here we'll cross LaSalle Street. Here we'll get a nice view to the Board of Trade here where we cross. So we're heading over towards the river here. Yeah, the Blick, that's the Blick there. So here's the view to the, so look at that, there's the Board of Trade there. Look at that view, looking straight down LaSalle Street. The trees are turning green, and then we get the train going by here. Look at that, yeah. Look at this nice view, South Street at Randolph here. We'll go by the Cadillac Palace here. Hey, you can register for summer programs. Moulin Rouge. So they were showing Beetlejuice, now they're showing Moulin Rouge here. Broadway in Chicago. Titanic. They recycle all these musicals. Yeah, what happened to the zoo here? The zoo's been haunted? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, some people are really into haunted places. Some people are really into paranormal activity, and which, you know, ties into the history. We talk about, you know, we talk about the Eastland disaster. Over 800 people perished there in the river. We'll go right by there later in this, and then we talk about the Nederlander Theater used to be called, at one time it was called the Iroquois Theater, and they had a horrible fire, and like 600 people perished in that, you know. So there's all these horrible tragedies. More people died in those things than the Great Chicago Fire, which is amazing. As damaging as the Great Chicago Fire was, there was a pink line heading across. This is Wells Street here, underneath the elevated tracks here. We'll head over to the Riverwalk here. And we'll cut over. Go up to Franklin Street. There'll be a really good view to the Sears Tower up here. Vladimir, how you doing there? Joy? Julie? Yeah, it's another one. Yeah. Yeah, we like Art Deco. See here, we're almost to Franklin Street here. We're still on. Right. Hey, how you doing? Hey, there you go. Say, people saying hello there. Yeah. Isn't that great? They came out of the parking garage there. They said, hey, there's that live streamer. Yeah, I hear that. That's right there. We talk about the restrooms in the Lion House. I think it's on the restrooms on the lakeside, the eastern end of the Lion House. They're reported to be haunted. People see weird things in the mirrors, and I don't know the reason they're haunted, but yeah, people report that. Of course, the whole area, well, the area south of Lincoln Park, Jen talks about this, is haunted. Or it used to be the cemetery, but that's south of the zoo. There is a small area where the farm and the zoo was, where they found some bodies, but that's not where the zoo is. So I know the zoo's trying to capitalize, especially in Halloween. They try to capitalize on the hauntedness of their area there. So here we'll cross the street there. There's the pink line heading through there. Look at this building. Look how you can get that building there. You get the train going by here. See into the city here. Yeah, we'll cross here. Here comes the scooter. There's the train going across there. Here, look at this nice park they got here. The Beatrix Market. You can walk right underneath the overhang here. I like doing this. Never wild. Simmer down there. Lunch Bunch is getting wild. No, it's an easy Monday here. We're just enjoying this weather here, 60 degrees. There, I missed the nice view the whole time there. I could have got the view of the Sears Tower. I wasn't even looking at it. See, I get distracted and I forget my own tour here. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. How you doing there, Henry? You got some wind here, but every time the weather warms up, we get some wind. It's typical. There we got 1228. Here we head across Wacker Drive. Oh, the wind. Oh, there goes my hat. There, I lost my hat. It blew my hat off. Can you believe that? We'll get across from here. That windy. Look at that guy. He came all the way from that lane. There's Wacker Drive. There's Salesforce Tower. Here's Wacker Drive. Looking the other way, we'll get a glimpse of the Sears Tower there. Down Wacker Drive here. And we'll cross the river here. We'll cross to the other side. There's that Bazaar Meats, Bar Mar. There's the Boeing building. Ghost took it. I flipped to my lid. Hey, look at this Wendella. Look at the boat there. There, look at the train going across there. So we got a tour boat full. We got the green line heading across Lake Street. We'll head right up there, but there we got a tour boat. Looking nice. See, I better hope my hat doesn't blow into the river here. I better hold onto my hat. But here we'll head under the cantilevered 150 North Riverside building here, the tuning fork building, or that's what I call it. Bank of America there. Boeing building. We're crossing here at Randolph. Yeah, it's a full boat there. See, all we need is a sunny day here. They were running the tour boats with crappy weather. Now we got some good weather here. So here, let's see if we can head through here. We got some yellow. Everywhere we look, there's caution tape. It looks like we can head through there. So we want to head this way. There's small Chagall, the Porter Chicken and Deck here. And we'll head around here. Brown bag. I got that beatnik chicken or kitchen over there. This is called Chicago. See, there's the tip of the Sears Tower there. There's the Bank of America building. This is the South Branch of the Chicago River. We're at Randolph Street. And there's the confluence, Lake Street. There's the Merchandise Mart Chicago Illinois here, 60 degrees. And that's called the Salesforce Tower, that tall building we're looking at. We're underneath the 150 North Riverside here. Just head up the Riverwalk here. Here comes a pink line. There's a pink line heading across the river there. So look at that. Going 4 cars there. Get the whole thing there. Look at that. Yeah, scenes of the city. Yeah, cool peeps. How you doing there? Yeah, welcome to Chicago. Yeah, I've lived here over half my life here, so the place kind of grows on you. I know it's not for everybody. People always think I'm trying to promote it. I'm just like, yeah, this is where I'm at anyway. I got to film where I'm at. Got a job here. How you doing? Appreciate it. How you doing? So here we'll head across the street. Everybody thinks I'm a tourist. They think they see me with the gimbal here filming Chicago, and they always think I'm a tourist. So maybe I am a tourist. Let's head across the street here. We'll head down to the Riverwalk here. We got some wind here. Just past underneath the wind's really picking up here, so it's getting pretty windy. It's probably going to be hard on my walk home, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll get a good Chicago style hot dog. Yeah, we got them all over. We talk about Byron's, dogs. It's all kinds of. Go to Jim's Original there in Maxwell Street. Get your Maxwell Street Polish. Yeah. Get your Char Dog, your Dogzilla. Just don't go to Wiener Circle. Take the train from Indiana. That's great. Yeah, the South Shore trains there. We take those sometimes too. I take them out to Dunes Park there. So here I'm holding on to my hat here until we get down to the river. 12:33. Thanks for tuning in here. Right down, we're going to go down to the Riverwalk there. We'll go down to the water's edge here. We got 12:33. Hey, there's a water taxi. Look at that. There's a yellow water taxi going by. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we'll get some boats here. Yeah, the wind. So we'll hang here with the geese here underneath Lake Street. Yeah, look, everybody's out here in the deck chairs. That's what you do. You sit out here in the sunshine. Yeah, you get your lunch here and get some vitamin D. That's what we're doing, just walking along the Riverwalk here. Hey, walking the dogs. Yeah, Wiener Circle. These people sitting out here in fine weather. Yeah, they're not the most comfortable things. They're hard to get out of. Like, you'll hear me do the old man groans and groans trying to get out of them. Yeah, I guess they're better than sitting on the ground. Besides that, yeah, you can bring your own camping chair. There's the merchandise mart. It's looking nice. Look at these blue skies here. Digging this weather here. Beautiful weather here. 60 degrees. Yeah, nice buildings. Yeah, they do art on the mart there at night. They're starting that back up where they project art on the merchandise mart there. We'll see the projectors. We got reruns there. Maybe we'll check it out later this spring and summer. They do stop it in the wintertime. They do it through the holidays. Hey, these bushes are turning green there. Yeah, let's see if we see more trees here along the Riverwalk. Signs of spring. It was nice to see the tulips. Yeah, there's people sitting over there. That's nice. Got Riverwalk on both sides. Here's the Franklin Street Bridge here. So yeah, this Wednesday we'll look for that farmer's market to be open in Lincoln Park. And then I'll start checking the schedule for Wednesdays to see if they're going to start to do a bridge lift. I doubt they do it this week. They'll probably catch after Easter. They'll probably start Wednesdays. In those first few weeks, there'll probably just be a few boats. But I always look forward to the spring bridge lifts for the sailboats. We'll try to film that. Hey, here comes the train. It's heading across Wells Street here. There it is. Train heading across Wells Street. The nice view here. Scenes of the city here. So it's going to stop there waiting for signals. Here's the projectors that project the art on the mart here. You see how they project right up there. There's the train waiting for signals there. Yeah, Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. This is Chicago Riverwalk. There's the merchandise mart. And we're near Wacker Drive. Wacker Drive is above us there. This is Wells Street. So, got this nice riverfront walkway here. It goes under all the bridges here. And there's some little cafes and things here. See, they got some hydroponic plant life down there. It's waiting to start. Nah, the train is part of the city here. It's part of the urban fabric. Elevated trains there. Ready to relax there and take the CTA. We'll see how they do on funding. They might have to curtail service on weekends. There was all this federal money that's out. That's over now. The party's over. Wouldn't surprise me if they raise the fare there. It's $2.50 there. It'd be pretty easy for them to raise it to $3. Hey, there's some green trees over there. I hope they don't, though. So the farmers market, the one in Lincoln Park starts, it's Wednesdays and Saturdays. They usually start it early in the mornings. You can look online there. Usually when I walk through there around 7 a.m., it's already started. It starts early. It usually goes probably until lunchtime. And then there'll be a farmers market on Daily Plaza. And the one on Daily Plaza is on Thursdays. At least it was last year. And then on Fridays they have food trucks at Daily Plaza. At least they did last year. So we'll see if they continue the same thing. And there might be farmers markets at other locations at different times. There's farmers markets all throughout the city. I know there's the South Loop Farmers Market. They were holding it on Sundays at Water Tower Place on the 4th floor, but that's probably going to change now that the weather's getting warmer. They'll move it back down to the Printers Row. But there's farmers markets in a lot of the neighborhoods. South Side, West Side, North Side, Logan Square. They have many different farmers markets all throughout the city here. Hyde Park. Hey, they got the boats here. There's the train going across there. They got these paddle boats back. Human-powered boats here. That's good to see. So we'll see if this State Street Bridge is shut down yet. Yeah, they're working on these bridges. And They were working on the Michigan Avenue Bridge. They still kind of are on the one side. We're gonna walk by the State Street Bridge, so we'll see if they had it. They had it like partially open last week, and so they were working on it. Yeah, I don't know. You can check the schedule. Maybe people have been sending me updates. It varies from day to day here. Here's people sitting on the seating wall here. This is the Riverwalk here on Chicago River. We'll catch this sightseeing boat here. People having their lunch here. And 60 degrees, not too bad. Fahrenheit, what is that? 10 degrees, above 10 degrees Celsius, maybe 15 Celsius, 10 degrees, somewhere around in there. There's the Bright Star there. There's the Quaker Oats building, the Marina Towers there. The Corn Cob building's one of them. There are people sitting here having their lunch. They got their bowls, walking the dog. Yeah, that's great. There's this shoreline sightseeing going by here. Nice to see the tour boats back in action. Pretty packed. Got a boatload there on the top. Doing architectural tours here. Enjoying the sunshine here. April the 28th. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for the good info there. I appreciate it. Very good. So thanks for the good information. See, we crowdsource it. See, we'll get you the answer eventually there. If I don't know, somebody else knows, and if somebody else doesn't know, we can ask the internet or some AI to give us the wrong answer. There comes another boat here. So April the 28th, the State Street Bridge shuts down. So we got a while for that. So 2 weeks from now. Yeah, we finally got food trucks. For the longest time, Chicago didn't allow the food trucks, and now they allow the food trucks, but they only can go in certain areas. The restaurants were afraid they were going to park right in front of their restaurants and steal their business. So there's only certain areas that they can go, and that's where you usually find them, where there's not other restaurants. But yeah, the Daily Plaza, they actually have a day of the week, usually Friday, where they let them park right on the plaza there, and that's a good day to sample the food trucks. You can just go to Daily Plaza. Hey, Tiny Cafe's starting to open here. They're starting to open up these outdoor seating establishments here along the Riverwalk. And all spring, summer, and fall here, we'll see people sitting along here. Boats will pull up here. We got the whole spring and summer ahead of us. We're looking forward to it here. Yeah, thanks to Google. Yeah, they're cranking the music here. It sounds great. With the sirens. Always sirens. There's the House of Blues. Marina Towers. Hey, here comes the Evening Star here, so we'll get the boat going by here. Google's our friends, big brother. Yeah, we created artificial intelligence. Now it's like God. It watches everything we do and knows if we're doing good or bad. Here, look at the Evening Star here. Look at this nice boat heading by here. Yeah, look at that. Tour boat. Yeah, wave hello to all the beautiful people there. How you doing there? It's great. Yeah, we'll follow along with this boat here. I just passed you. Hey, Raya Beth here. How you doing there? Yeah, sitting on the Riverwalk here. That's great. Yeah, friends and neighbors here. We run into people all the time here. People yell from their windows, and we saw people at C2E2. We saw people in the Clark Park there, the old Clark House there. Everywhere you go. We met Drew at the Bean there. It was great. Old Drew there, DDD. Hey, it's nice to see the tour boats here. What time we got? 12:45. We're doing good on time here. We'll head right back to the Michigan Avenue Bridge here. We're on the Chicago Riverwalk here. We're under the Marina Towers here. I guess they still got the hot tub boats. Oops, how you doing? And What's that? There's something floating in the water there. Hey, look at these flowers. These are some beautiful, beautiful flowers here at the city winery here. So I don't think these are real, but they look beautiful nonetheless. They're just too colorful. They're too perfect. But we'll act like they're real. No one knows. No one knows.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah, they got screens there. They could lower. They were holding out on you. They made you suffer through the cold there. I know, yeah. You could go down below. You know, it's just, yeah, when you March is pretty, you're pretty hardcore to be taking a architectural tour in March, but people do it. And yeah, if you get a day like today, it'd be perfect, 60 degrees. Here comes a barge here, a large barge here, the Sky View. We're heading underneath the State Street. So this is the one they're going to work on, the State Street Bridge, but it's not being worked on yet as far as we can tell. They were doing testing on it last week. It was open a little bit. Yeah, it's like Venice. It's like Venice. We need some gondolas. They had a gondola in here once, but then, you know, no one would take it. The guy actually was trying to be the gondolier there with the pole and everything, but it just didn't work as well. But here's the Sky View here. Here's the barge heading through. Architectural tour here. You see where we're at here underneath the Trump Tower. And there's the Marina Towers here. And there's the Sky View heading under the State Street Bridge. There's Wabash. We'll head over to the brew house here. Hey, this tree's turning green. The little trees are turning green here. Starting to tease us with some springtime sun, foliage here. '28. Thanks, Rob, on the road. Thanks for the good information there. So yeah, State Street, it'll open, or it'll construction April the 28th. So thanks for the good info. Appreciate it. So hey, they got the fountain on for the Vietnam War Memorial here, and they got the brew house here. We'll check out the fountain here. Of course, the names of people that fallen for the Vietnam War here, and just like in Washington D.C., we got our own Vietnam War Memorial here with the fountains here. Along the Riverwalk, we got all the military insignia here, flags. Look at that. Here we'll head along. There comes the city view. Did it turn around? No, there's two of them. There's one barge going one way. Here's one barge going the other way. Look, got it with the Marina Towers here. Yeah, the tour boats are out in force today. Get a 60-degree sunny day here. Look, everybody's sitting out here, enjoying the beautiful weather here, and sitting in the shade, even having a brewski here. Yeah, beer, a part of Chicago's history here, Chicago Brew House. Yeah, look at that barge go underneath Wabash there. Heated indoors, open. There you go. Hey, we'll get a really nice view to the Wrigley Building and the Tribune Tower here. Rounding out our walk here along the Riverwalk here. Thanks for coming along here. We just checked out the sunshine. I tried to walk through the Lurie Gardens, but they had it closed. So hopefully it'll have it open later the week and we can check out the beautiful spring flowers there. And look, there's the, see, here's the Trump Tower. The Wrigley Building, the Tribune. O'Brien's is not open yet. It looks like they're getting ready here. Yeah, the busy Riverwalk. This nice weather brings everybody out here. Yeah, we got 80 people tuning in here. See, the nice sunshine helps out. Thanks for tuning in here, checking out Scenes of Chicago here on YouTube. But yeah, if you missed it there, we did the C2E2 there on Friday. We got reruns on TikTok. That was fun. People said hello, all the cosplayers there. And I still might cut out that we got some nice skyline view there from the bridgeway that connects the two convention centers there at McCormick Place that spans the Lakeshore Drive there. And we walked over to the oldest part there, which the one that they burnt down and then they rebuilt it. Everything in Chicago burns down, isn't that funny? Like everything, I'm like, oh, they used to. The first one burned down. Same with Carson Prairie Scott or the Palmer House Hilton. The first one burnt down, and then they tore down the second one, built a third one. Nothing lasts. Everything's rebuilt, refurbished. Yeah, Wrigley Field, there it is. Look at that nice view. Get the Wrigley and the Tribune there, and water taxi there. Yeah, they're making the announcements. All those people waiting on the stairs there to get in their water taxi. We'll head up the stairs here. Head right up to Michigan Avenue here. Yeah, this amazing classic view. The three vintage skyscrapers there. The Onion Dome one's the Intercontinental Hotel in the back there. It used to be Medina Temple Auditorium. No, it was the Medina Athletic Club. Medina Temple Auditorium is where the casino is. I always get those confused there. But look at the Wrigley, the Tribune, Intercontinental Hotel there. Classic views. We head up the stairs there. Yeah, taking pictures there. That's good. So here, we'll wait till they're taking pictures. There's Lower Wacker. Hey, they're taking a nice picture in front of the skyline there. Look how nice that looks there. So here, we'll head right up here.
Oh, I like how you played with the Philadelphia mirror.
Yeah, see the photographers telling her how to pose there. That's good. So, yeah, Michigan Avenue, 60 degrees. We'll get you a nice view overlooking over the river here. Yeah, usually they got that turntable there for the selfie thing, but they didn't bring it out here today. So here we'll just look over the edge of the river here. Oh, there you go. Get your cameraman out there. Yeah, that's nice. I gotta hold on to my hat here. So we'll spin around here. We'll show you the nice view while we wait for this light to change here. Yeah, a lot of people taking pictures here. There it is. If you go right here, get that little there, the yellow water taxi's pulling out there. There you go. So yeah, later this year we'll take several water taxi rides there. We'll go down to Chinatown even. And then there's the Wrigley, the Tribune there. Let's see if we can cross the street here. Hey, there's the guy. You know that guy with the basketball there? You always see him going up and down Michigan Avenue here. Look at that. Yeah, see, there's fall behind this guy. He's like a globetrotter here. You always see him going up and down Michigan Avenue, balancing the ball there. See, isn't it great? We got all these people that just do their own thing there, you know. Some people got skateboards, some people got basketballs, some people got whatever other talent they could do, magic acts or mimes or, you know. Yeah, that was the Jewelers Building there. We always, the Jewelers Building has all the, that dome there. Yeah, there's the basketball guy there. We see him often in the summertime there, spinning that ball. There he is. Hey, there's Benny the Bull there. So, yeah, the Bulls got a one-game plan, or two, or at least they're going to try to get into the playoffs there, the play-in. I think they play the Miami Heat there on Wednesday. So we'll look into that. The bald guy, you see him, Michael? You remember that guy? Yeah, we've seen him in other videos. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I see some of the same, I've been seeing some of the same street performers for 20 years. I see some of the same panhandlers for 20 years, 25 years. Isn't that amazing? And I joke with them. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's all in good fun there. You know, they're not doing too bad. They made it this long, 25 years. Here, we'll cross Water Street here, Michigan Avenue. Well, hey, thanks everybody for getting the nice coming along with me for the tour of the loop there. We just started at Millennium Park there, went through the loop, went through the Riverwalk, came back, and we saw the tulips on State Street. The tulips on State Street were the first ones I saw blooming there. Michigan Avenue, I didn't see any yet. They're getting tall, but they're like this. They haven't bloomed out yet. See here, this is Michigan Avenue. There's some motorcycles here, 60 degrees. See, these tulips they're getting ready, but they're not blooming yet. So here we'll cross. We'll show this spectacular view we got of the Wrigley, looking up North Michigan Avenue to the John Hancock there. Beautiful 60-degree sunshine. I'm so happy we got the spring and summer ahead of us. We'll get to do a bunch of beautiful walks here. So we'll be on TikTok tonight. I'll reverse this commute. We'll go back to Lincoln Park there, and I'm gonna head back to work here. Thanks everybody. Thanks to my mods there. Christopher, yeah, thanks for a nice walk there. And check out Christopher there and walking in New Jersey, New York City there. Demishi, our friend in Germany, he said somebody asked for his autograph. See, so he's getting TikTok famous too. It'll happen, Christopher. People stop you in the street. They'll be like, "Hey, you're the guy." Eliza, Michael, thanks everybody there. Really, Julie Reed there. Pete, thanks everybody. Thanks for the good information. Rob on the road and everybody else there watching from Venice and wherever else. Appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll see you. We'll see you soon there. Enjoy this weather if you're in Chicago, and we'll see you tonight after 5 o'clock here. Have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks a lot, everybody. And hope you're feeling better, Julie. Glad you're feeling better. We'll talk to you later.